Hi, guys, and Grumpy. You know, the man who likes to throw puns at me with pins and other such things. Hi, everyone. Good to see you. And Grumpy. Anyways, hello. How are you guys? Sorry, I'm kind of like I am I'm in a decent mood today for some reason. No particular reason, but I don't know. I slept well. I had a good day in that regard. So I'm feeling a little, I'm kind of like elevated today. That's all. Hi, Grumpy on TikTok. Hi, Dawn. You're early tonight. Am I? I think I'm at like a normal time tonight, which is good. Uh, so yeah, we are at. I'm going to say hi, Frank. We are at $1,270.69. But give me a second. I think that's what I've added the names of everyone who's donated to the. You can make fun of me here too. What the fuck? What on earth is going on here? Yep, I did. Okay, cool. So, sorry, one sec. I'm just making sure that I put everybody on the list. Yep, we're at $1,270.69. And that's for the fundraiser for the thermal drone for the HUR unit. Today, I received a phone call from so I ordered the other drone, I ordered the drone that we fundraised for before this, and I was hoping it would get here in like 2-3 days. I did receive a phone call from the company this morning, and they were like, "Hi, so it's in our warehouse in Poland, and we're expecting it in like 2 to 3 days. So it should be with you on Monday, the latest." And I was like, "All right," the reason why I went with that company is because it was the cheapest price on, like, it was like a couple of thousand hryvnias less. But I also found a refurbished battery, like another like drone battery that was refurbished that I could like buy for that money, and maybe like 500 hryvnias of my own or something like that, or 1,000 hryvnias of my own. So I figured I might as well do that, which is why I went for the cheaper option. So because I figured I can maximize what we get out of the drone. And I was actually super, super hoping that it would get here this week, because the friend of mine who is the soldier is going to be here this week, but I think he's going to stay in Kyiv for maybe a week. So hopefully he's not going to leave before the drone gets here, because that way I can give it to him into his hands and not have to send it through Nova Poshta and stuff like that. That's what I'm hoping for. I mean, I will be able to get it to him eventually. I will be able to either send it through Nova Poshta or give it to him in hand. But I wish I was able to just give it in hand photo op. Yeah, no, I mean, they'll do photo ops. Oh my gosh. Like, they'll do photo ops, no problem, in either scenario, whether it'll be me giving him the drone or me sending him the drone. I was just like, it would be so nice to hand it to him, and I still hope that it will happen. But yeah. What else? Marjorie Trader Green might be unhappy today. Yeah, Marjorie Trader Green might be super unhappy. And more than that, I have a ridiculous video to show you. Not that ridiculous, but, well, oh my gosh, one second. Grumpy, can you send the link that Robbie sent in Signal to me on Telegram so I can find it on Twitter and show it on YouTube? Oh my gosh, that was a lot of mentionings of social media. But hi, Salt of the Red Earth, Perjury Trader Green. Oh my gosh, there are way too many names for her. I don't even feel like she deserves that much attention and that many nicknames being made up for her. So came here for prepping a business meeting. Ooh, good luck in your business meeting, Alice. You'll do great. I know you will, because you are a rock star. Alrighty. Marjorie and Matt Gaetz are what I call the Suicide Squad. Oh my God. I mean, well, like at least the Suicide Squad, like if we're talking about the movie, it was an awful movie, but they were effective in some ways. So like, I wouldn't give them that. Anyways, Grumpy, is there any chance you could send it to you can send me a link from Signal that Rob sent about Mitch McConnell to my Telegram, because that would be super duper helpful. Yes, I do want I do want you to send it to me in Telegram. In the meanwhile, hi Joey, good to see you. Hi Sami, hi Sir TDS, hi Magda, hi James, hello the UK. Hi, wait, hi SSW, hi Nick, hi Joker, ooh, speaking of Suicide Squad, hi Y, hi Pietro, or ciao Pietro, hi Karen, hi Prexis, hi Martin, hi Frank again, hi Bjorn, hi Grumpy, I've said that like 10 times, hi Ad, I really like that pin, that's my kind of humor, yeah, I mean, listen, hi Bombi, hello the UK, well yes, hi Rebecca's, well yes, hello the entirety of the country of the United Kingdom. I was talking to Nick today, and he was saying something about like how Sheffield is not right around the corner from London, and I was like, listen, England is the size of Kyiv, like, it's around the corner for me. Hi Dorota, oh my gosh, good to see you. Marino, Republicans block aid to Ukraine, which leads to a lot of unnecessary deaths. Block aid to Ukraine, which leads to a lot of unnecessary deaths in Ukraine. Well, yeah, that's kind of what we've been suffering with for a while. Also, Republicans now vote for aid now and pretend they're pro-Ukraine. Yeah, I mean, isn't that typical for the MAGA caucus? But there is something very, very interesting that Mitch McConnell did, which is unexpected, because I feel like Mitch McConnell is literally devil reincarnate in some ways, or devil incarnate. And I'm going to show you a minute-long video that I think is important to see. So give me 1 second and I will share my screen. And okay, share screen. I think this is the information that we're starting with today. I think it's super important, and I want to show it to you guys because it's quite wild that Mitch McConnell would be talking about Daddy Trump like that.
I know the answer. I think the demonization of Ukraine began by Tucker Carlson, who, in my opinion, ended up where he should have been all along, which is interviewing Vladimir Putin. And so he had an enormous audience, which convinced a lot of rank and file Republicans that maybe this was a mistake. I think the former president had sort of mixed views on it. We all felt that the border was a complete disaster, myself included. And Chad, you remember covering the phases we went through. First, there was an effort to make law, which requires you to deal with Democrats. And then a number of our members thought it wasn't good enough. And then our nominee for president didn't seem to want us to do anything at all. That took months to work our way through it. So
he basically told, in that interview, he said that Trump told them to kill the bill, which they gave Mitchie truth serum. I mean, I think here's what's happening. I think that the Republicans are turning on Trump. I think that like there is a strong MAGA caucus, right? Like Marjorie and all and Gates, but that caucus is getting smaller and smaller. And I think that a lot of Republicans are turning on Trump because they're probably sick of his bullshit, and they're probably understanding how much shit and trouble he's in. So that's live. Oh, because it may contain unoriginal appeal. I was just, showing some Mitch McConnell from my own YouTube. Anyways, my TikTok live got restricted because it's showing unoriginal content, which is hilarious because I'm showing my YouTube and this is not unoriginal content. This is fair use because I'm just showing a piece of something. So yeah, I mean, not just now, just the ones that are riding off into the sunset. Well, yes and no, because Mitch McConnell is like a strong Republican in that sense. And for him to like go on stage and say, hey, Trump wanted us to kill the immigration bill is really going to damage Trump's reputation among his like electorate, or at least among like the electorate of people who might not be sure. And that's the thing, like that's the thing. I mean, I am like, I'm not, they're horrible people. I mean, Mitch McConnell is awful. He's devil incarnate, like literally. But at the same time, it's kind of nice to see all of his little minions turning on him, because I think that at this point, it's like self-preservation mechanism, because they don't want to be associated with that, because their entire their entire party is literally being trashed from top to bottom because of Trump and the people who are loyal to him. Not that it shouldn't be, because it literally has been fascist central for the past, since 2016 at least. And I do get that, but at the same time, like, yeah, it's super nice to see that a lot of these people are even if it doesn't matter, and even if it's too late and it's too little too late, and even if it doesn't really change anything, it does change the perception, because it's kind of like rats fleeing the sinking ship. Oh yeah, rats fleeing the sinking ship, exactly. And it says a lot, because these are some of his like loyal Trumpists, you know, these are some of his loyal Republicans. And also the dishing of Tucker Carlson saying that he ended up exactly where he should. Like, I never thought I would laugh at a Mitch McConnell joke. I never thought I'd laugh at a Mitch McConnell joke, but you know what? That was a good joke. Like saying that Tucker Carlson ended up where he should be, which is interviewing Putin. It's just like an A++ joke. Sorry, I absolutely despise Mitch McConnell, but I will give it to him. That was brilliant. As well as, you know, him saying that the demonization of Ukraine started with Tucker Carlson abusing his platform on Trump's behalf to demonize Ukraine. Fantastic, because that's exactly what it was. And, you know, if it took Mitchie that long to finally stop giving an F about his political career and his relationship with Trump, and actually say what's really happening, I'm not going to give him credit for it. Like, don't get me wrong. It's not me giving Mitch McConnell credit, but it's me being like, well, F yeah, that should have been done a long time ago. So yeah, there's that. Also, I think I realized why I was so happy today, and this is absolutely not politically related, but bear with me, because I do like to go off on some tangents. But so if you don't know this about me, I like to stretch a lot, and I used to stretch like every morning and every evening, and I do these like super long stretches, and like I feel very stiff, and my body just doesn't work if I don't do them. I don't like yoga as a workout, because I like workouts that are very intense, so more like HIIT style stuff. And yoga is usually like a pre and a post workout thing, or like a morning and evening thing, just sort of to like get my body moving. Well, not yoga, but stretches. And in the US, I have this like cork yoga mat that's very thick, and it's really nice. And it's very wide, so it's a perfect mat for like doing that. Here, when I got here, I was like, oh crap, I don't have a yoga mat. So I just ordered one from a Ukrainian company that was like decently cheap. And I was like, oh, that'll do. It does not do. It's very like, I slide back and forth on it. It's super thin. Like, I literally feel like I'm laying on rocks. And so I haven't been doing my stretches for like a month and a half at the very least, because I just, every time I sat on that mat, I was like, I don't want to be here, because it was just like such a like not pleasant feeling. And I ordered a nice yoga mat and some yoga blocks. And this is such a dumb thing, but it like made my day, because it's they're arriving tomorrow. I ordered them from Poland, as I have like a discount on the site from my friend who works in an IT company. So I ended up buying like a nice Nike yoga mat for like way less than a Nike yoga mat should cost. and or it does cost usually. And so I got a message about it arriving fairly recently, and so that brought me to a very, very good. That brought me in a very, very good mood, because I've been feeling like my neck, my back, and everything has just been feeling so stiff and so bad, especially because I sit a lot like this and I work a lot like here, like this on the floor. And today, like, I was in a taxi and my arm kept going numb like all the time. And so, yeah, it was just very nice to find out that tomorrow that I'm going to start putting an end to it by like actually stretching my body and giving it the bare minimum of the exercise it needs. Okay, Graham, maybe Tucker will move back to Russia and become roomies with Steven Seagal. They can make movies together. What kind of movies can they make together while being roommates, Graham? Just kidding. But yeah, Steven Seagal, oh my gosh, I don't even know where to start on that. Is he okay? Like, is he alive? Because I haven't heard, like, not that I'm upset about it, because I'm happy I haven't heard from him, but I haven't heard from him in quite a while, and which is great. But I'm also wondering if he's still, continuing his propaganda activities, or Russians have retired him into the background, and he's not like necessary or useful anymore for them, because I haven't seen him really doing any of his normal, just weird bullshit that he does. No, he's not okay. Never was. Yeah, well, I mean, he. For sure. Alrighty, so you guys, for the thermal drone for the HUR unit, we are at $1,270.69. Every donation of $20 buys you a ticket for a raffle to win this fantastic sweatshirt, but in a size large. Let me bring mine. I didn't wear it today, but because it's like a little too hot, but I will bring it out and I will show you. The sweatshirt says Russia is a terrorist state on it. It was a limited edition drop from a Ukrainian brand that's made, thought up, and like manufactured everything in Ukraine. And all the proceeds from buying that sweatshirt go to the military to begin with. So when I purchased the sweatshirt for the raffle for the drone fundraiser, the money already went to the military. So technically, we're double donating to the military through this sweatshirt. And they've sold out of all of them. So this is kind of like an exclusive. 1 second. Ow. Oh, ow. I'm a grandma. I'm sorry. So. This is the sweatshirt. It says Russia is a terrorist state. You've seen it on my Instagram, on my Twitter, literally everywhere, because I figured I would post a picture in the sweatshirt at least once a week. You're going to be getting a completely new sweatshirt, obviously not a sweatshirt I've been wearing. And its shipping is open worldwide. So if you would like to contribute to the fundraiser for a thermal drone for an HUR unit, at which we're at $1,270.69 out of $5,500, then every $20 donation buys you a ticket. The more $20 donation, so for instance, if you donate 100, that's 5 tickets, and it's going to be like one of those, randomized, like the software that randomly picks a person. So the more $20, like the more tickets, the higher is your chance at winning. So yeah, I did speak to my friend who asked me to fundraise for this drone from HUR, and I asked if they wanted me to just raise the money and send it to them for them to buy the drone, or they wanted me to buy the drone, and they said we'll buy the drone together. And I should be going to meet. With the unit sometime probably next week. And so there's that. And I'll try to obviously take pictures, but also they will take pictures and they will do all of the like receipts and everything once they receive the drone. So yes, if you would like to donate for the drone, you can do so through the links that Grumpy just attached on my screen. And if you are on TikTok, then you can go and donate through my link in bio right under my profile picture. Also, if you're on TikTok, I'm going to reload this stream because I still have a restriction, which means that it's not telling people that I am streaming, and it's also not showing me in like in search because of the unoriginal content, which literally was me showing you the Mitch McConnell bit. So give me a second. Let me reload it because we're not doing that. It's annoying. Learn more about your restriction details. Like, how is this even a thing? That's so stupid. I'm literally... I hate TikTok sometimes. I just don't understand. Like, this is so annoying because, like, how is this a thing? I should be able to show bits and pieces of like interviews and stuff without TikTok going nuts on me and saying that I'm like trying to steal someone's content. But you know. Anyways, music, yeah, that was TikTok. TikTok sometimes no, that was TikTok. I actually don't listen to Taylor Swift. Hi, Joe. And I don't understand. Like, I think she's a great person. Like, she does a lot of good things. I think her music sucks. I'm sorry. I'm sure it's an unpopular opinion. But she's very poppy, and like I think that you need to follow all of her life drama to actually enjoy her albums because they're all about her like ex-boyfriends. And I could not be bothered. So I really don't understand all the hype around Taylor Swift, to be honest. Like, as a person, like I've listened to her interviews and stuff, and I think she does a lot. I think it was great of her to like break her manager's thing of not talking politics and staying neutral when it was very necessary, that she spoke out about her political beliefs and like encouraged people to vote Democrat and stuff. Like, I really do respect that. And I respect her for that. And I really appreciate it. But like, I think her music is not just average. Like, I think her music is like, it's like not good. And again, like, I find it weird that you actually need to like catch up with her. You need to like catch up with her entire you need to understand her entire like life and her like romantic shindigs and stuff like that. To actually be able to enjoy her music. And I think that's asking for too much, because like I don't want to follow the artist's entire journey and know who they slept with and like who broke up with them and why they broke up with them and all this like drama with other artists. I just like find it exhausting. So yeah, I don't know how that's a thing. Not a thing. Who are we talking about? Taylor Swift briefly. Anyways, she only sings about her exes is a misogynistic bad faith message that people who haven't listened to her in 10 years say, not at you, just in general. Well, I mean, like, but that's true. Like, a lot of her songs are about the people that she's been with. And like, the thing is, and like about other drama with like other celebrities and things like that. But that's exactly the thing, is that like, you know, with most artists, you don't necessarily need to catch up with their life and catch up with what they're doing outside of their music to know what they're singing about. And with her, I feel like it's a whole package. Like, you need to know, like, she has to be like your friend. She is a marketing genius. And I think she's like, she's a badass woman. Like, the amount of success that she's gotten is fantastic. And like, I'm not taking that away from her, but what I'm saying is that like, what deters me from it is that it's very pop. Like, it's very pop music, and it's just not, it doesn't provide any like value to me, or hasn't really, because it's a lot. It's a lot. So yeah, it's just like a lot, it's a lot to like catch up with. It's just too much. But anyways, I just don't care enough because like her music is pop and I don't necessarily like pop. So it's just one of the reasons why I really don't care for it. But I watched a documentary about her a long time ago and I think she's a brilliant woman. Like I think she's super successful and she's great. I just don't like her music and I think it should be okay to not like her music. So I feel like anytime I say that, people are just like, not here, but people just attack me and I'm just like, I don't like it. I don't like pop music and I think it's very average. Like, I'm sorry. Anyways, okay, sorry. That was a very long tangent on a random topic that isn't relevant to anything we usually talk about. So we are going to be talking about Ukraine now. And if I receive any donations from anyone towards the fundraiser for the drones, for the HUR, for the drone, for the HUR unit, I will let you guys know. And obviously I'll include them into the total. So far, I haven't received any, or I haven't. Let me put on my VPN so I can see if something comes in on Venmo, because yesterday I wasn't receiving notifications because I realized my VPN was off. And the toddler total, don't worry, it ends at 69 max tracks. You don't have to fix anything today. Okay. Soldiers of the Anti-Aircraft Defense Battalion of the 77th Air Mobile Brigade neutralized a SuperCam reconnaissance UAV. And I think that's the UAV that was unidentified yesterday over Kyiv, because at some point we got an air alert last night. And the alert said there were 2 unidentified UAVs in Kyiv region. And no one knew what they were, but they knew that they weren't Shaheds. And so I think that these neutralized UAVs are from this area. It's called a SuperCam. And it does look like it was made in Russia because it has a letter B in Russian, and also it does say things in Russian over here. Center 130. I'm here now. Hi, Robbie. What do you think about Mr. Kuleba? He's a fantastic foreign affairs minister. I think he's very well spoken, and I think he does his job very well. He has a book that I recommended in my community tab on YouTube. That basically talks about information space in war and how to like navigate it and how to not fall for propaganda. And it's a fantastic book, and it recently came out in English. So so if you are on YouTube, you can look it up in my community tab, and you can order the book, and you will understand why I love Dmytro Kuleba so much. He's a very, very smart man. Russia has destroyed more than 210 port infrastructure facilities, Ukrainian Ministry of Reconstruction noted. However, Deputy Minister for Communities, Territories, and Infrastructure Development, Yewleea, added that many of these facilities have already been destroyed. Nevertheless, the government continues to support, develop, and restore all possible export routes, he said. Voskov emphasized that both the government and private business are making efforts to have as many alternative routes as possible. Also, thank you for the donation from Ralph, and thank you for the $40 donation, which brings us to $1,310.69. Thank you, Richard. So let me put that into the list. Still not in this. Please like the live. You can do that. Ukraine is pretty sophisticated where information warfare is concerned. Well, yes and no. A lot of Ukrainians are, in fact, falling for Russian propaganda. And the thing is that, Russian propaganda keeps getting more and more sophisticated. And the thing is, while we are very good a lot of the time at disseminating the propaganda and kind of not paying attention to it, you need to understand that Ukraine, hi Shelley, that Ukraine has been um, that Ukraine has been in this, war in a full-scale invasion for over 2 years, and people are tired. People are tired. People are burnt out. People are angry. People are emotional, and Russia knows how to like pull strings. Russia at first was so the reason why Russian propaganda was so unsuccessful in Ukraine at first is because they were trying to approach Ukraine as if it was Russia. So they were using the same tactics that they would be using on their own citizens in Russia. And they weren't working because Ukrainians are not a herd of sheep. But Russians are. And then at some point, Russia realized that the propaganda they use in Europe works much better, and that they should approach Ukraine like they approach the Western free world and like they approach Europe. And they started tailoring their messages a little bit differently. They started tailoring their messages to Ukrainians more similarly as they do to like Europeans. And it started working. Honestly, they started like creating a lot of the division in society. And the thing is that like what they do is they find like some small discourse within Ukrainian society. Like, let's say someone's arguing about mobilization, or someone's arguing about a particular minister, or someone's arguing about a particular thing. Russians pick it up like that, and they blow it out of proportion. So something that was like a small local argument between like a couple of people on Ukrainian Twitter or something like that now is blown up to be an argument where like 50% of the people in Ukraine on Twitter and the other 50% of the people in Ukraine on Twitter are literally fighting with each other over these things because they have differing opinions. And like, while that's just social media, like it does increase tensions within society, and it does also increase sort of like distrust towards the government. And all of Russia's propaganda is aimed at Ukrainians hating our government, distrusting our government, and thinking that our government is like working against us, and at the end of the day has all these deals with Russia and will like surrender the country when they're done like stealing everything there is to steal. And the thing is, like, they're using such easy tactics to do that. Like, our government has issues, don't get us wrong. Like, we are, we have been under Russia's rule for so long, and Russia's influence, and like, Russian politicians and Russian shills in our government and stuff like that. We have problems, but like, the things that people are willing to believe just because other things are true and Russia like literally brings in this discourse are insane. And like, we were talking about tropes that are really, really incredibly annoying in the Ukrainian society. And one of those tropes is like constantly blaming the government and constantly talking about the government as if like they're, going to submit to Russia. And that's like, it is Russian propaganda. And at this point, when you do say that it's Russian propaganda, it's like, oh, everything that you don't like is Russian propaganda. Everything that the government doesn't like is Russian propaganda. It's like, no, it isn't. But the thing is like that like we do have a lot of problems, but the specific problems you are addressing and the people that you're blaming for them is the work of Russian propaganda, and it's working really well. And that's kind of what Russian propaganda does. They find things that are really there, they just misattribute them to something else. And that's why it's so hard sometimes to disprove it and dispute it, because like there is truth in it. It's just misattributed. Anyways, I could talk about this forever. It's not worth it. Well, I mean, it is worth it, but I could talk about this forever. There are so many things. I just wish that our people in our society sort of like, pulled together a little bit and stopped looking for so many people to blame. Like, write down the things you don't like to hold the politicians accountable, but stop trying to stop trying to like try and figure these things out right now, because disseminating our government in the moment is only, and I mean only, beneficial for Russia. What is this nonsense I heard from some US Republican lawmakers about Ukraine banning Christianity? It is in fact nonsense. Ukraine banned the Russian Orthodox branch of the Ukrainian Orthodox Church. The Russian Orthodox Church and the Russian Patriarchy of the Orthodox Church has literally been used as a mechanism of influencing people to believe that that the Russian world is that like Russians, that we are like, subservient to Russians, and that Russia should come and save us from the Ukrainian Nazis. The Russian, thank you, Mandy. The Russian Orthodox Church is a cult that's being used to brainwash people, and it's a mechanism through which the Russian government spreads its propaganda. So no, Christianity hasn't been banned. In fact, it is prospering. And I am from Lviv, which we call it the Holy Galicia. Galicia is like, so you know how basically like New Hampshire and Massachusetts and Connecticut and Vermont and all these states are considered New England. So Lviv is in Galicia, right? So that's like not the state. It's so basically Oblast is a state. And then we have regions. So Donbass is a region, same as Galicia, like Halachina, right? And I'm from Halachina, which is Lviv, and we call it the Holy Galicia or the Holy Halachina because it is historically so religious. We have like Mother Mary statues everywhere, and like people go to church on Sundays, and we have so many churches, it's not even funny. So hi Demon Orb. So no one is prosecuting Christianity. I will tell you that. All the grandmas that have been going to church continue going to church, especially in Lviv. Oh, it is prospering. They're going to Catholic churches, they're going to Christian churches, they're going to Greek Catholic churches. They are going to churches. And after churches, they're going to each other's houses, and they're talking about everyone that they've seen in church today. Thank you so much, Tara. No one is persecuting Christianity in Ukraine. In fact, Robbie, or Robert Gadet for you guys on YouTube, hi Chicago, will confirm to you that Christianity is in fact very much prospering in Ukraine because my grandmother has given him not one, but 2 Mother Mary necklaces when he was here in Ukraine, and she went to church and blessed them herself. Okay, because it's very important. It's very, very important for her to turn to give her little religious gifts to everybody. So yeah, no, not being persecuted. In fact, it's thriving. Senator Chuck Grassley earlier today explained the connection between the Orthodox Church of the Moscow Patriarchate, how it's a KGB tool, and how actual Christians are persecuted. Yep. Lindsay picked the right day to be pro-Ukrainian. Tomorrow he'll say Ukraine can't win, but we need him today. Lindsey Graham has been pro-Ukrainian. Like Lindsey Graham has been quite incredibly pro-Ukrainian, which is wild. When I went to South Carolina for my birthday in 2022, I will tell you it was all decked down in Ukrainian flags. And I was very confused because it's like the South. And so I asked why, is there like a large population of Ukrainians? And everybody told me, no, it's just because Lindsey Graham is really pro-Ukrainian. So that's why South Carolina is as well. Saying Catholics don't believe in Jesus is like saying there aren't any Muslims in Mecca. I mean, yeah, for sure. Cindy. Russian weekly oil refining is near an 11-month low as flooding hampers operations and repairs to plants affected by drone attack slow down. Oh, no. Russia processed 5.22 million barrels of crude a day from April 11th to 17th, according to a person with that knowledge of industry data. That's about 10,000 barrels a day, or 0.2% below the average or the prior 7 days. Earlier this year, drones targeted key Russian refineries, causing their partial or complete shutdown. There's been no further damage during the past month, giving operations time to conduct repairs, yet the pace of recovery has slowed, stated in the article. In total, the Security Service of Ukraine has already carried out 14 successful attacks on Russian refineries in different regions of the country. They have reduced the export of Russian oil products by 1/3. The oil refining industry was also affected by the flood, which shut down the Orsk oil refinery. Meanwhile, as a result of another drone attack in Odessa, 9 people were injured, including children, the head of the regional military administration, Oleg Kiper. 3 people were hospitalized in moderate condition in the city's medical facilities, and 2 more were treated on the spot. 4 children, 12 and 9 years old, and 2 infants are also in moderate condition in the hospital, he added. Yeah, because those infants were for sure Ukrainian military hiding, right? And Ukrainian military, according to Russians, is just hiding everywhere because Russia strikes civilian infrastructure all the time and tries to say at least, thank you, Tara, and tries to say at least to their voters that hi Gord, and tries to portray it to their voters that and tries to portray to their voters, to their population. I don't know why I said voters, and tries to portray it to their population as if, like, Ukraine has all these soldiers hiding in schools and hospitals and places like that, while that's not true. It's just projection. Yeah, I don't know what's wrong with my internet on TikTok. I'm sorry, but I hope I'm back. Hello, Doggy. Doggy's name is Cinny. This is my French bulldog. She's also the mascot of this channel, and arguably people like her more than they like me. So, and I understand that. I totally get it. I like her more than most people as well. She's an adorable little creature. Hi, Sinon. Anyways, Cinny is the patron saint of this channel. Yes, she is. Cinny is the patron saint of like everywhere. So also this is a good time to promote helping me, stay on my feet, I guess, or yeah. So if you buy subscriptions, like a membership to YouTube, or you buy a membership or a live membership on TikTok that actually funds a lot of my or Patreon that funds that helps me a lot, and it does pay some of my bills. And if you do that on TikTok and on YouTube, you get access to these emojis that Grumpy has been using all the time, and not only Grumpy. And you can use these emojis of Cinny and Putin in a toilet and the Ukrainian passport and other fun things to chat. So yeah, and it does go a very long way and help me quite a bit. So for those of you who are members on YouTube and subscribed on TikTok, thank you very, very much. I really do appreciate that. No super thanks button again. Really? I don't know why. That's strange. No, there was. It's there. I think it's the super thanks button is only available if you are using YouTube from your computer, because this was a super thanks, I think, right? That's a super thanks. I believe. Sorry to hear about your occupational vapor inhalation. Oh, I'm sorry. Next stop for Tucker Carlson, a Russian prison. Well, I don't think so. I don't think he's going to be in a Russian prison. I hope he's going to end up in an American one. But also, like, he's one of those like awful types of people where, you can't necessarily put him in jail because he didn't do anything illegal. You can technically try and prove him as a treasoner, right? Where he was exchanging intel or like aiding a foreign hostile regime, which is Russia. But I think that we would have a very, very, very hard time proving that. Although we all know, obviously, that he gets paid by Russia. So yeah. But as to the super thanks button on YouTube, I think it only appears if you're on your computer. I don't know. But someone, I didn't see who, just donated $60 to our fundraiser, I think. And that brings us to $1,370.69. And that also buys them 3 tickets. But I need to see who, because I didn't see in the email. I didn't see in the notification, it didn't say who it was. But hey, thank you. That buys you 3 tickets for the raffle. And oh, Tani, oh, thank you. So So it's for Tawny N, and it's 3 tickets. Thank you so much. Okay, British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak to announce the largest ever military aid package to Ukraine worth £500 million during his visit to Poland on April 23rd. It will include 60 boats, including offshore raiding craft, rigid raiding craft, and dive boats, as well as maritime guns. More than 1,600 strike and air defense missiles, as well as additional Storm Shadow long-range missiles, more than 400 vehicles, including 160 protected mobility Husky vehicles, 162 armored vehicles, and 78 all-terrain vehicles. Nearly 4 million rounds of small arms ammunition. So I do want to kind of talk about the boats, because all of the other things I think are pretty straightforward. But with the boats, one would think, why? Or why would they need that? Why are they providing that? Think Crimea. Think of ways that that one can approach Crimea. And I think that the boats are connected to Crimea. I can't say anything more, but I think that if you let your imagination run wild, you will come up with a decent explanation as to why. Also, we just got $40 from Chad. Thank you, Chad. And that is 2 more tickets for him. Thank you so much, Chad. And that brings us to $1,450.69. The 69 cents. That's 69 cents. I see Boat by Crimea on the Air Alert app. Well, no, that's not quite the thinking. Tucker is a complainer. He's a millionaire, and yet he complains a lot. Of course he complains a lot. And of course he's a millionaire. And of course he acts like, he knows what regular folk need in life. It's actually super funny because I found it incredibly hilarious when he was shopping at a grocery store in Russia. And he was like, this is so affordable. It's so much cheaper than the United States. Meanwhile, he completely did not account for the cost of living. And also, when someone who has millions and millions of dollars kind of comes to a grocery store and talks about how affordable things are, it's kind of funny. It's a little funny. Also very detached from reality and very ignorant. Hi, Mick. Also, Chad, thank you for the 31-cent donation, which brings us to $1,451. While Russia uses new tactics to attack Ukraine, Russia uses new tactics to attack Ukraine. While we have not yet received aid from the United States, the enemy will try to intensify shelling using various methods, like today with the help of drones. We have seen some new tactics. The Russians tried to send 1 or 2 Shaheds in different directions with different frequency to make it as inconvenient as possible to fight them, said Ukrainian Air Force spokesman Ilya Yewleea. According to him, during the night attack, Russians tried to reconnoiter the work of Ukrainian mobile fire groups. And that makes sense. That's what I was trying to tell you. Russians were doing in Kyiv as well. They were sending unidentified UAVs for Ukrainians to sort of not know what to do with them or what those UAVs are. And this is done to confuse us, right? And confuse and exhaust our air defense systems while we don't have enough shells for them. So Russia does this tactic with missiles sometimes where they send flukes that show up on radars as missiles, but in reality they aren't. And that is to confuse and to exhaust our air defense. And they will likely be doing that quite a lot. There have been air raids a couple of times a day. Nothing has been nothing significant has been happening in Kyiv particularly, but air raids have been going off because Russia has been using this tactic. Hi, Yana. Also, hi, iBag. And hi, Mr. Squiggle. And hi, Mick. Good to see you guys. Also, Yana, I didn't see you were here. Good to see you. A French company continues to supply onboard electronics for Russian aircraft, says Le Parisien. These are aircraft used by Russia's highest military and political leadership. It is a state-of-the-art system that controls all onboard electronics from the cockpit. It is installed by the PGA, a French subsidiary of the American Astronics Group, headquartered in New York State and specializing in avionics. Putin, Medvedev, Shoigu, and other regime figures can now enjoy their advanced French technology that provides reliable secret communication for their cell phones. The authors of the article write, the company earned 4 to 5 million euro working with the Russian Federation, which corresponds to equipping 7 planes, journalists say. Yeah, see, that's the thing. There are lots of companies in France and Germany and other countries that are still doing business with Russia like there is no tomorrow, and they're not planning on stopping because money is much more important than people's lives. You know, one of the things that I often want to say to for instance, people that like scream like, oh, Ukraine is not our problem. This is not our, like, you know, this is not our war to deal with. Why are we sending them money? It's sort of like, you know, like gas prices, taxes, whatever. It's like, oh, so let me see. If you were to see a kid on the street be beaten up, but you don't know the kid, but it's a child being beaten up, or like a person being beaten up, and you know, someone told you like, oh, don't go do anything about it, because if you do, the gas prices are gonna rise. But you have to watch that person. But you have to watch that person get killed. Would you watch that person get killed instead of helping them, just so your gas prices don't rise? Because the people who say stuff like, oh, it's not our fight to fight, like, why are we sending stuff to Ukraine? Gas prices are going up. First of all, gas prices are going up because of the people who are killing, not because of the people who are defending themselves. And like, so you are happy to exchange a few cents or a few dollars for a human life. I think that's atrocious and horrendous, because that's exactly the choice that those people are making. They're choosing to kill someone so their gas prices don't go up. And that's wild. Germany urges the US to provide Ukraine with another Patriot system, Bloomberg citing sources. Berlin's pressure campaign aimed at its transatlantic ally as part of coordinated effort. Sini, what are you doing? As part of a coordinated effort to get NATO and European Union partners to step up assistance for Ukraine on air defense. The people said on condition of anonymity. Germany will also keep pressing European allies this week, including France and Italy, to assess what they're able to deliver, the sources said. Most of the arms from the new U.S. aid package for Ukraine are already in warehouses in Germany and Poland, according to CNN. The sources reported that the shells will be among the first supplies to be delivered to Ukraine. Once across the border, officials in Kyiv will look to get it where it is needed as quickly as they can, but doing so will still present a considerable logistical challenge given the sheer quantity of material involved. Therefore, even with the rapid approval of the first aid package, the advantage that Russia currently has will not be eliminated immediately. But this is something that I was talking about. Remember a couple of days ago, I said that all of this, that actually the majority of the aid for Ukraine, a very, very large amount of weapons and equipment is already all ready to go, and it's going to be like sent as soon as the signature, before the signature dries on the bill. So that's what I meant. I also received like a little bit of backlash from someone who I think was meaning well in the comments to that video, and they were like, "Oh, I don't understand why you feel the need to say that you know some information that like hasn't been shared, like from a military point of view, like, you know, OPSEC, and like you might be fucking up and like blah blah. And why did you mention that you were disagreeing with Jake Bro specifically on this?" Like, I mentioned it not to start a conflict. I mentioned it because I was just talking with him on a different live like 20 minutes before that, and I just figured that I mentioned to the people that were there that I disagree with that statement, because here's the information that I do know. Also, I never share information that I know will hurt OPSEC, because Like that's just not who I am, and there is nothing I want to nothing I want to do less than hurt Ukraine in any way. I also know what things can be shared and cannot be shared, and right after I knew that it was okay to say that because that story was already breaking and it was going to be announced like now. So at that point I had a full green light to say that. So so what I was trying to say is that I never share things to show someone how much I know or like how cool I am or to like convince someone that I have information that someone else doesn't have. It really it is really not about that. It's just about the fact that a lot of people are very worried about Ukraine and the front lines and and how much Russia was able to screw up the situation for us while we were waiting for that package and for those deliveries. So I wanted to bring people some good news and kind of put people at ease, saying and knowing that a lot of this equipment has already is like literally ready to go. So, anyways, and this wasn't aimed at Jake Bro by any means, like being like, ha, he is wrong. It was just because him and I were having that discussion and he said that there is going to be like some basic aid first because that's just normally how these packages work. But because this has been so long and Europe has been scrambling to put it together to have it ready to go, like the second that the signature is on the bill, it's a bit different in this situation. So that's all I was meaning, not like, I just found it very weird that, or I guess I was hoping that it didn't come off like I was like trying to be like, oh, Jake is wrong. It was just more like referring to a conversation we just had with him. And there were lots of people that came particularly from that conversation. So it felt like a reasonable thing to do. Anyways, I would not be harming OPSEC because I know what I can and what I cannot say. I think I've, in this entire time of 2 years, I've only once did I say something that was like remotely not good for OPSEC, and it was in a tweet and I immediately deleted it. So, there is that. Hi, Paul. Hi, everyone. Russians shelled Dnipro district, said Serhiy Lysak, head of the Dnipro Regional Military Administration. Preliminarily, 4 people were injured and hospitalized in moderate condition. They are men aged 34, 48, and 70, and a 72-year-old woman. Everyone wants their 15 minutes? What does that mean in this context? Okay, Sinon, I'm sorry. Cindy is like, Sin, come here. Come here, Bubs. Hey, can you chill? 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 Thank you. No, yeah, but like who was trying to get their 15 minutes of fame in this case? Anyways, the Long Neptune is Ukraine's favorite missile for swatting Russia's Black Sea Fleet. More and more are rolling off the production line, says Forbes. Oh yeah, got it. Senators won 15 minutes of fame. I wasn't following the conversation about senators, so I was like, I don't know. I know what 15 minutes of fame is. I just didn't realize what it was addressed to. The Long Neptune is Ukraine's favorite missile for swatting Russia's Black Sea Fleet. More and more are rolling off the production line, according to Forbes. When the Ukrainians fire missiles at the Black Sea Fleet, those missiles are usually Neptunes, new versions of the old Soviet Kh-35 cruise missile, which Ukrainian industry once built on behalf of the Soviet fleet, the publication notes. The journalists emphasized that Ukrainian officials have told U.S. officials that they have increased Neptune production tenfold, meaning that strike planners in Kyiv will soon have scores and potentially hundreds of those missiles. If just a couple of dozen Neptunes could sink a cruiser and damage several other ships as well as air defense and support facilities, imagine what 100 Neptunes could do, the journalists point out. Yeah, Ukraine has been increasing production of Neptunes. Also, Ukraine today came out and said that Patriots could be fully built and assembled in Ukraine as well. So it would be like we have full capacity to do that. We just need, like permission, and we need to be able to produce them here. But we can actually produce Patriots in Ukraine, which would be huge. Ukraine has honestly ramped up our military production facilities and our military industry so much in the past 2 years. It's quite insane, to be honest, to look at it, because I have not seen a single country ever really be under a full-scale invasion and also advance and innovate so much. It's quite insane. Sini, come here. Sorry, you guys. She went to my bedroom, and she can't be there while I'm not there because she might be doing some random stuff. So give me 1 second. Sini. Hey, bud, come here. No. Sini. Hey. Girl. Here's your bone. You can take that with you. But you are not allowed to just chill here without me, because I know you, and you will be doing some random bad things. Okay, sorry. My dog is a toddler that needs attention and supervision. Sin, do you have to keep that on my hoodie? Yeah. Well, in not so good news, and something that is actually horrifying, and I want to show you, Russia shelled Konstantinivka, injuring 5 people, according to the Donetsk Regional Prosecutor's Office. The agency specified that the injured are the driver of the car and 4 of his passengers. This video has been floating through the info space for everywhere today, and I'm sure that most of you have seen it, but if you haven't, I'm going to show it because I think it's important. It is, most of the gore and horror is blurred out, because obviously no one wants to show the faces of the people who have suffered from this attack, but it's really horrendous, and I think that this should be shown, and I think that we're not showing enough of these videos from random shelling by Russia. They used to be everywhere online. Every day you would see so much of those, and now really Facebook filters them, Instagram filters them, TikTok filters them. Really the only place is Twitter, but Twitter kind of suppresses Ukrainian content to begin with. But no one wants to see gore. What does my puppy want? Well, she's now happily chewing her bone. Also, we just got a donation of 69 cents because Max Strax is a toddler and really wants it to end with 69 cents every time. But I'm waiting for this video to upload, and I'm going to send it to my computer and show it to you, because I do think that it's super important to keep showing these, no matter how gory and no matter how awful, because it's just important. And it's important that the world sees what Russia does to Ukraine every day and what Ukrainian people have to suffer through every day, unfortunately. And I will show you exactly that, because it's important. I wish people could see Bucha in person. It is so sad. Yeah, well, most politicians that come to Bucha and end up seeing it in person end up changing their mind on Ukraine and supporting Ukraine. And there is that. But let me show you.
В машине. Водительство.
Что с глазом?
Не знаю. Бежит оттуда, и рука, и нога, об что-то кровит. Ай-яй-яй, что-то больно.
Надо раздеваться. Аккуратно.
Да, мне машину заводи их сразу.
Сейчас носилки возьмем.
Давай, у меня на...
Куда их заводить? Давай.
Головой. В машину сади. Открывай дверь, в машину садись, я тебе сказал. Так, давай сюда, встаем. Сейчас все будет. Давай, заносим, принимай.
Все будет хорошо. Терпи, Сергей.
Нет, взрослые все.
Как звать? Тебя. Как зовут тебя?
Ира.
Тебя.
Ира.
Тебя. Тебя как зовут?
Кого?
Тебя как зовут?
Меня, Сергей.
Сергей, все будет хорошо.
Выходите.
Да, выходим.
Руку помню.
Все, сейчас тебя выгружаем. На больничке уже. Серега.
Сейчас.
Терпи. Аккуратно рука. Наша помощь еще нужна?
Yeah, so, and that happens in Ukraine every day. And the thing is, like, these things are obviously not being shown every day, you know, and people, and normally things that are small, like, you know, like for instance, this was Konstantinivka, and it injured 5 people because Russia shelled a vehicle. Like, you can see that they were in a vehicle, right? And it's horrendous because these cases happen genuinely, like, almost every day. And it's awful. It's just really, really awful. And, you know, a lot of sort of like, my dad actually said something today, you know, he was saying that so my dad parked in the center of Lviv somewhere, and this guy who was my dad has an SUV, and it's an electric SUV. So it's like a very, I'll get to the point. I swear it has point here. It has a point here, but like for this story to make sense, I need to explain it to you. My dad has an electric SUV, and it looks like a spaceship inside. And so behind him was a person who was a soldier, and he was also in an SUV, but it was like a regular, you know, like military car. And so he came up to my dad and he was like, "Hey, do you mind if I like really want to get into your spaceship and see what it's like inside and like how it works?" My dad was like, "Yeah, I'll finish my conversation on the phone," and like, sure. So the soldier ended up getting into the spaceship, and they started talking about different generations. And he's like, "Listen, this is an SUV and this is an SUV, but this one is like a regular car, and the other one is what? No. So I guess my live access on TikTok has been restricted because of shocking and graphic content, of course. God, I fucking hate TikTok so much. Sorry, like, it just pisses me off so much. It's like the platform where that I put the most effort into, because it's a platform where I started, and I feel like this platform just like constantly tries to persecute anyone who talks about Ukraine. And it's like, you know, if you're a Russian soldier and you're literally showing like a video of like removing guts out of a Ukrainian prisoner of war, it's like not graphic and not shocking. If you're a Ukrainian and you're showing blurred content, blurred content, it's like, oh, shocking and graphic. Like, no, it fucking is not. Like, stop. Anyways, I am so freaking angry about this. But anyway, so the soldier was talking to my dad, and they were talking about different generations and different things. And so he was like, "Well, this is an SUV, and this is about SUV, and this is an SUV, but these are different generation." And he's like, "This is kind of the same thing as, you know, like war has moved from a generation to a generation," because he's like, "You know, I served since 2014, and I'm special forces and stuff like that. And we used to sit in trenches, and we used to actually conduct warfare. And now we are soldiers, and we are hiding from drones that are like there to kill us all the time." And like, you know, what you think about when a drone is being aimed at you, when you think what you think about when a drone is trying to kill you is that there is some dude somewhere in Russia or in the occupied territory sitting in a warm freaking room eating chips and drinking cola and literally trying to kill you while you're sitting in a trench and trying to save your life. And that's sort of like really got through to me. And I think that, you know, fundraising for drones, like obviously Ukrainian military needs a lot more than just drones and everything that, you know, Ukrainian military needs a lot of things, and tourniquets are important, cars are important, everything is important. But I feel like we're living in such a like modern warfare age of like drone warfare, and drones can cause so much damage. And like, I think that I'm very happy that we decided on this channel to fundraise for drones for different units, a drone at a time, because I think that drones are arguably one of the most important things on the battlefield. And that is obviously not to discount or devalue like other things that people are fundraising for. It's just that really sort of was like really did, you know, put a lot of thoughts and like meaning in my head about doing this. And it was such a shitty thing to imagine, right? Because none of us are ever going to be able to understand what that, like, none of us are ever going to be able to empathize with what this guy was saying. Like we're able to sympathize, but like we'll never know what it's like to sit in a trench and hide from someone who's trying to end your life, realizing that they're not actually in front of you with a gun, or they're not like in nearly the same conditions you're at, because they're not on the battlefield, they're not cold, they're not suffering, they're not wearing uncomfortable combat boots, they're not running out of artillery or ammunition, they're not fucking scared. They're in a warm room somewhere in the territory they either stole from you, or on the territory of a country that is trying to destroy you, eating lunch and casually killing you. So I think that drones are so important, and I'm so freaking happy that we are able to provide them for these units. And I'm so happy that we are able to fundraise for drones. So thank you guys very much, because it means a lot and it does help the Ukrainian military a lot. And thank you everyone who donates continuously, and thank you everyone who donates sometimes, and thank you everyone who watches and can't donate, and thank you everyone who supports Ukraine, because honestly, like, if it wasn't for you, we would not have been able to do so many phenomenal helpful things that we have been able to do, because you guys are so helpful and so supportive and so generous. So genuinely, thank you very, very, very much for helping us out. TikTok live died. Yes, I know. It's because graphic and violent content, and like, please don't get me started on it, because I am so incredibly fucking pissed about it. Like, let's not get there, okay? Because I am going to lose my shit if we do. Anyways, in the afternoon, the Russian forces attacked Kozatsky in Kherson region. It's a village, and an 82-year-old woman was killed, said the head of the regional military administration, Prokhudin. Volodymyr Zelensky had a meeting with the Danish Minister for Industry, Business and Financial Affairs. U.S. to take aim at Chinese banks aiding Russia's war effort, the Wall Street Journal. The U.S. is drafting sanctions that threaten to cut some Chinese banks off of the global financial system, aiming Washington's top envoy with diplomatic leverage that officials hope will stop Beijing's commercial support of Russia's military production. It is noted that it was China's aid that allowed Russia to restore its military-industrial potential, as Beijing became the main supplier of electronic circuits, aircraft parts, machinery, and machine tools. In addition, some Chinese banks operate as intermediaries in commercial exports to Russia, processing payments and providing client companies with loans for trade operations. According to the publication, sanctions against banks may be imposed if China ignores diplomatic pressure from Washington. Hi, Scott. Hi, Martin. Hi, JJ. No, you're not the only one who lost the feed on TikTok. It's because TikTok sucks and decided to suspend my live for 7 days because of graphic and violent content, even though it was blurred. U.S. prepares $1 billion military aid package for Ukraine, a Reuters citing a U.S. official. The United States is preparing a $1 billion military aid package for Ukraine, the first to be sourced from the yet-to-be-signed Ukraine-Israel bill. So the aid package includes vehicles, Stinger air defense munitions, additional ammunition for high-mobility artillery rocket systems, 155mm artillery ammunition, TOW and Javelin anti-tank munitions, and other weapons that can immediately be put to use on the battlefield, the officials said. Also, ATACMS are coming to Ukraine, and I think the U.S. is going to break and is going to the U.S. is going to not break, but the U.S. is going to crack and give us Patriots. Patriot can almost entirely be manufactured in Ukraine. Ukraine's ambassador to the U.S., Oksana Markarova, during 2 visits of President Zelensky to the USA in 2023, she said the issue of localization of Patriot production was raised. The systems can be partially manufactured in Ukraine and assembled as a finished product on the Ukraine territory. There is a practice of technology transfer for manufacturing to other countries. They are working on it. Denmark allocates more than 400 million euro for reconstruction in Ukraine's energy section. The memorandum envisages the Danish government's allocation of approximately 40 million euro to support the private sector involved in Ukraine's reconstruction, as well as 380 million euro to support critical infrastructure using renewable energy. The Ukrainian-Danish document also provides for the facilitation of meetings between businesses of both countries and the strengthening of cooperation in shipbuilding development and reconstruction of seaport infrastructure, which is wild and amazing. This is very, very amazing. Honestly, Ukraine really needs that. The U.S. Senate approves consideration of bills to provide $95 billion in aid to Ukraine, Israel, and Taiwan. Senators now have 30 hours to discuss the documents before the final vote. That was 3 hours ago. Lithuania has supplied the Ukrainian army with an undisclosed number of M577 armored command vehicles. They have already been delivered to the territory of Ukraine. Thank you, Lithuania. You, as always, rock. And it's likely that this, as I said before, it's likely that the aid is going to pass. Before tomorrow night, and also it won't last 30 hours. Vote is around 8 p.m. EDT. Yeah, exactly. It's likely that they're going to pass it tomorrow. It isn't. I don't think that there is going to be any hiccups on that part on the behalf, and I think that that's going to be that's going to happen pretty fast. I don't think that there's going to be any problems with the Senate, and I think that Biden is going to sign it tomorrow. So that's that for today. Thank you very much for listening. I am kind of really annoyed with what happened to TikTok. I will be posting some videos this week because obviously I can go live on there, and I'm overdue for posting short form content. Honestly, there's so many things that I need to cover, and I haven't. And I've just not been in the right headspace, and I think lives have been much easier. I will see you guys tomorrow. I'm also supposed to go live with Rick and Masha tomorrow at 6 p.m. Kyiv time, so I will see you there as well. Biden isn't signing it now. Well, Biden needs to sign it after the Senate passes it. Are you annoyed with TikTok or PayPal? I'm annoyed with TikTok, but I'm also annoyed with PayPal. I turned on my YouTube notifications. Thank you. anyways, if you guys, so also, and not anyways, but a gentle reminder that if you, oh my God, sorry, someone just bought 50 coffees, which I believe is, sorry, 1 second. I don't even know how much that is, but that is a lot. So let me see something really quick. I need to see what that is. Also, for some reason, my Buy Me a Coffee doesn't work on a computer for some unknown to me reason. But let me see. 1 second. Because I just want to know what to add to the fundraiser. Because I don't know. That is $250 worth of coffees. Oh my God, for your drone. Okay, so that brings us to $1,701.69. Thank you. Thank you, Robert. That is so incredibly sweet. And thank you. Oh my fucking God, that's awesome. Good game, right? Thank you so much. I mean, good game to everyone because you know, you guys are phenomenal, and thank you so very much. Well, that definitely made my day a bit brighter. I will see you guys tomorrow. No, the consideration passed the Senate earlier. But it didn't pass the final stage because that's kind of how things work. And that's kind of how things work in the in Senate. Like you have to first pass it for consideration and then pass it through the Senate. So yeah, it's gonna go into, that's like 5 Starbucks ventis. That's a lot more than 5 Starbucks ventis. That's a lot more than 5 Starbucks ventis. But yeah. Okay. All right, guys. I am going to go because it's 2 a.m. But I will see you tomorrow, first on Rick's, and then here. And thank you, Frank. Thank you for the super sticker. Oh, go to sleep. And yeah, see, super stickers do work. Alrighty, guys. Thank you, and I will see you later. Bye.